Hi everyone, my name is Natalie and today I want to share with you our experience with baby eczema. Let me tell you that nobody is going to make the best decision for your child other than you. So please educate yourself, please do thorough research, because from going to the regular doctor to then a dermatologist to then an allergist, there's so many, they all have different opinions about things. So just do your research, because not every eczema, as well as advice that doesn't even work. Because advice that you will give a parent that is dealing with eczema that is not severe in comparison to a parent that is dealing with baby eczema that is extremely severe, oozing, infected and everything, you can't give both parents the same advice. Know like what you're dealing with, okay? My baby started with mild eczema and it got to level max, bleeding all over, oozing all over, crying every single day and night. I mean, it was horrible. It affected our entire lives, and poor baby, is the most heartbreaking thing. So I joined all the groups, talked to many mamas. I went to our private doctor that took care of her and she gave us several tips, and I'm gonna go all over that. So, but it started when she was 2 months. Now, how was it? It was insane, like I just mentioned. We would have to always have her covered up. We will have to bathe her 1 or twice a day, depending on how bad it was, because eczema is not just the dryness of the skin. It can start as just dryness and redness of the skin, but if not treated properly right away, it can lead to severe eczema. And some people will be like, okay, just use a little cream, use a little ointment, use this, use that. This worked for this child. Again, like I mentioned before, you can't do the same thing for all children. So now I want to talk about how it was before we found what worked for her. So other than, the oozing, the infection, the crying, the bleeding, all of that, we took severe measures to make sure that we kept, her skin clean, moisturized, and always covered. So our priority was to make sure that she wouldn't scratch. Because if she scratched, she will open her skin and it would be even more prone to other things getting in there and getting worse and worse and worse, okay? So we try to always have her covered, and we will hold her. We'll hold her all the time. And also for sleeping, it was a whole thing. We weren't sleeping. Nobody in this house was sleeping. It affected even my toddler because we were always with the baby. It was a lot, okay? So I really sympathize with every parent that is going through this. And if you're watching this, I am so sorry that you're going through this, because it is painful, especially when everybody's throwing so many suggestions at you. Do this, try that, try that. And you're like, oh my goodness, I have done everything. And the thing is that once you start something, you try something, you can't be trying something different every single day. You try something for a week, see if it works, then you continue the cycle, right? I took our baby to a doctor. We told the doctor everything. I had already tried eliminating things out of my diet. Well, a few other things, because I was already in an elimination diet. I was doing more of a meat-based way of eating, not carnivore strictly, but somewhere between keto and carnivore. Eliminated eggs and then dairy. But I didn't eliminate it long enough. So we didn't know that those things were causing her flare-ups. So once I tried everything and I was so tired of me trying to figure things out on my own, I said, okay, I'm gonna take my daughter to the doctor, but just not any doctor, someone that aligns to, the way that we do things, that can start with something holistically and then can help us if we need more things like medicine and stuff like that. So that's exactly what she suggested. Things that I was already kind of doing. So the apple cider vinegar baths with Epsom salt, make sure that that's unscented. And then she also said if it gets really bad, we can do some bleach baths as well. And this would just kill the staph. And the staph is the oozy, infected eczema that can spread. And actually it did spread to me as well when I will hold my daughter and she was oozing and we were trying to clean her and she was moving. It spread to my arm. Of course I got that treated right away, but it can spread. So you want to make sure, especially if you have other kids, that you treat that infection right away. And I had no idea that that was a thing. I was just like, oh, she's like, you know, just oozing. I didn't really think about it much. And, you know, I would just clean her up, and then I will apply a moisturizer and then seal that moisturizer and hope for the best that it will heal. I never thought about, hey, I need to treat the infected area before I do the other steps. So I think that that is super important. And once she brought that up, I'm like, okay, yeah, duh. So I was already doing the apple cider vinegar, not thinking much of it. But now when we incorporated, when she got really, really bad, we incorporated the bleach baths, and we wouldn't do that every single day. We would do that maybe once or twice a week. Once we started doing that, we started seeing that she was getting a little bit better. And she went through withdrawal of this product, okay? If you go to a dermatologist, or even just the doctor, the pediatrician will tell you, hey, just use this. But if you don't know what this is hydrocortisone, and it is a steroid. And it's a very low dose of steroid, but if not used right, it can make the skin addicted. And I don't want to instill fear on anybody, because I think steroids have a place, and I am going to talk about that later. Okay, I'm no doctor. I don't want to give medical advice to anybody, but I regret using this on my daughter because I didn't know that I had to use it a specific way. So there's a way that you have to use it, and it's better if you use it in using a compound method. And I will show in a little bit what I am using now as a compound method. So she went through withdrawal of this product, and it made her entire neck ooze. It was just oozing, lots of fluids coming out, blood mixture with it. I mean, she would stain her onesies. It was the most painful thing I have ever gone through. And just seeing my child cry, I mean, it makes me want to cry right now. Keep it together. You know what I'm talking about. If you're going through it, you know what I'm talking about. It's horrible. Okay, so how do we get rid of the stuff? Okay, so other than doing the bleach bath and the vinegar bath, we bought this product. Now, our doctor did not recommend this, but I was in some Facebook groups with mamas, and they were talking about this product, and I thought, hey, I'm gonna give it a try because this is what I need to tackle right now. And this is the Eczema Therapy by Skin Smart. It's an antimicrobial, and babies can use this. It's safe for babies. So I would clean the area after the baby would take a nap, and then we would spray this. And actually I use this with my toddler as well. When he starts scratching, he has eczema as well, but it's not as bad as my daughter's. And he typically gets it right here in this area, or on his back, lower back. But we will use this, and then we will follow up with an antibiotic. And I'm not saying that this is the best. Before I found out what we're using now, this is what we were doing, okay? This is not what we're doing right now. I mean, I still use this, but we're not using this. I would do this on the areas that weren't infected, the tubby Todd. And I know that this is highly marketed, but let me tell you, this is not, in my opinion, a cure. This will help with babies that are on level 1 of eczema, probably, where they just have dry skin. I mean, it does have clean ingredients, so I don't want to say that it's like the worst thing ever. It's better than other ointments out there. So we first were like, okay, we need to tackle the inflammation, the severe eczema, because she also has lymph nodes that were swollen up. So we knew that she was dealing with infection. Something is really attacking her body, and we need to tackle that like now, ASAP. So that's exactly what we did. But first, right, with all the things that we were doing, we said, okay, we need to eliminate, because there's definitely something triggering it. So I completely eliminated eggs and butter, which is something I was enjoying every single day. And occasionally I will have freshly stoned milled bread that we would buy from the organic store. So not like the typical bread that you would just get at the store. No, this was like freshly made and everything. I would have that with like avocado and some other stuff, bacon. So I realized I needed to pay attention to also what I was eating. and the high histamines foods that I was ingesting, because maybe that was also triggering her eczema. So when we went to the doctor said, okay, we also need to supplement with probiotics, and we weren't doing probiotics. And she also said vitamin D, we weren't doing vitamin D, and cod liver oil. So all those three things, well, the cod liver oil has vitamin D, and then the probiotic that we were using, I didn't like that one because it had, well, the pediatrician told us to use that one. It had cornstarch, and I didn't feel comfortable using cornstarch, so we went with one that I used to use with my son when he was a baby. So that's what we're still doing that. We're still giving her probiotics, we're still doing vitamin D, and we're doing also the cod liver oil. She just started solids not so long ago, so we were afraid of doing solids because we didn't know of her triggers. So we gave her the ultimate stuff. We gave her butter. She hived immediately. We gave her egg yolk, hived immediately. And then my milk reduction, I think because of the stress and everything that I was going through, it dropped. It has dropped a lot. And I was not able to keep up with her demands. So we supplemented with goat's milk formula from KENDAMIL, and she didn't seem to do that bad because she will have maybe 2 ounces, 3 ounces of it in a day. But she was still dealing with this whole eczema issue and flare-ups and hives. So we didn't think that it would be the goat's milk formula. But then I didn't realize, well, I didn't know this, the similarities in the protein between the cow's milk formula and the goat's milk formula. So now we know that she can't have goat's milk formula either, even though she doesn't puke right away when she has it, like she did when we introduced the cow's milk formula from KENDAMIL as well, the grass-fed organic one that we gave her. We gave her only 1 day. I think we gave her 2 bottles, and it was a really bad idea because it was the day before my brother's wedding, and she puked all over the car, and we were out of town. I mean, it was a nightmare. Thank God we had medicine, and I'll talk to you about the medicine in one bit, but oh my goodness, it really helps, especially if you're introducing foods. Oops, sorry about that, that scared me. Especially if you're introducing foods for the first time to your baby, and your baby is dealing with eczema, flare-ups, and allergies and all that. Just have a backup plan, because you never know what they're allergic to or they might be sensitive to. So you need to just be prepared, especially if you're out and about and you're doing the whole introduction thing, because you'll have to run out to the ER probably, because it gets really bad, at least for our baby, because when she has a reaction, we have to act within like 5 minutes of seeing that reaction, because or else her entire body, her face, everything swells up, bumps, itchiness, crying. I mean, everything happens. It's really, really bad. And if it's with the formula, it was puking. That was the first time that she just puked all over, everywhere. So that was very scary. With the lymph nodes, the doctor recommended using castor oil and just massaging it every single day. So we've seen that be really bad and also shrink. And we noticed that when she has a reaction, her lymph nodes really swell up, and when she's doing better, they shrink. So I know that that connects, and our doctor's not worried about it. She just says once she's done with all of this, it's gonna go down. Now, we also got a nebulizer because she started queasing, and she gets this not every single day, but whenever she has reactions or she has something that she's sensitive to. So there's things that she's still exposed to when she's crawling, now that she crawls, you know, like crumbs on the floor, whether it's peanut butter or egg or something, or yogurt, like I'm looking at it right now at a dining table. Our toddler had yogurt, and there's yogurt on the chair. If she touches that, she might have a reaction to it. So just having a plan to when she encounters, you know, things that she's allergic to is important. And I'm glad that we got a antihistamine prescription. She explained to us that is similar to like Benadryl, and whenever she has a reaction, we can give her that. And a lot of the times 1 dose will do. But if it's really, really bad, like she actually ingested something that had dairy, then we have to act up really quickly because it's really bad. So, and they will require more than 1 dose. We also, right after we left the doctor's, 2 days after she was going through withdrawal of this one, the doctor gave her a prescription of oral steroid. She said, use this for 5 days. This is gonna help the lymph nodes go down. It's gonna just help overall her heal and feel better. And yes, it did. It did, but we did not use it for 5 days. We only used it for 3 days because there is also side effects that come with using that long term. So I know that 5 days is not long term, but I just was so afraid of the same thing that happened with us happening. So we avoided giving it to her for 5 days. We only did 3 days, and it was very helpful. I can now tell you that my baby does not have eczema from head to toe because it got all over her head as well. She doesn't. Her eyes as well. I mean, it's horrible. She doesn't. But all of these things helped, like the oral steroid. Before I was so afraid of it. Now I'm like, okay, it has a place. As well as the antihistamine medication, it has a place, and it helps us so much, especially because she's now eating. Well, she's still struggling to eat, but we are giving her foods to try to see if she has reactions to it. Right now we're experimenting with wheat. I'm having some bread right now, and it's the same bread that I was having before, the freshly stoned mill bread that I was having before, I'm having now. Well, at least I had it yesterday. I've had it for the past 2 days. We'll see how she does. I haven't seen a reaction yet, but she's also teething. She just got her first tooth. So she's very irritable. So that can also be a thing. But let me talk to you about what we are doing in terms of routine. So we are only bathing her when she sweats a lot. So we don't bathe her every single day. I skip a day now, and I will only use apple cider vinegar whenever she starts to have a reaction to something. We don't use it like we used to before. And now bleach baths, that's something that we have discontinued because we don't think that is necessary anymore. I am using the Tubby Todd sensitive wash because I bought it with this. But I think we just ran out of it, so I have to get a new body wash today. But I am looking for something that doesn't have fragrance, something that is sensitive. We're back to exclusively breastfeeding, and I am struggling really bad to produce as much as she needs. That's why I'm like, okay, you need to like drink some broth, you need to eat. Like eat please, because I cannot keep up with the demand. I'm struggling with the whole formula situation because we did get Alimentum for her, and that thing stinks so bad, so bad. I mean, I will use it again. I will use that or any hypoallergenic formula. Don't take me wrong, I will use it if I need to. I just don't want to fully give her that because I know that the benefits that she'll get from drinking my milk will be much better. And if I can do it, why not, right? I understand that there's people that cannot do that. But for me, I just consciously cannot do it. I can't. I've tried. It stresses me out that I have to pump every 2 hours. And she doesn't latch. It's not like I can just put her on my boob. I have to pump. So it's a lot of stress, and it's a full-time job as it is to be a stay-at-home mom, never mind pumping. Pumping takes so much time. Cleaning bottles, all of that, you know if you're doing that, you know what I'm talking about. It's very exhausting. Seeing her do better is giving me a lot of hope. So yeah, so now that's what we're doing with bath time. We're still doing mittens at night or when she naps, because if I don't hear her, I don't want her to have the opportunity to just scratch. It has become a habit for her to scratch when she's irritable, when she's like, hungry, or literally just for fun. She just like scratches, scratch. I'm just like, what is going on? I know she's not having a reaction, but why is she scratching just randomly? So whenever she's distracted, she's not itching. But when your baby's just like nonstop itching, that something's bothering, right? But so now we know the itch. So is it hunger or is it that something's happening? So I know now, like if something's happening, it's like nonstop. If she's just bored, she'll scratch here and there, crawl, do this and that, and you know, do that. Also, if it's accompanied with cry and itchiness, nonstop itchiness, it's like an immediate hide. Like something's happening, I have to take her clothes off and check, because she will start hiving from her core normally, and then it will come up in her head, her back, her legs. I mean, it goes everywhere, right? So then I will immediately give her an antihistamine, and then we will treat the skin. So if she has done damage, I will not apply. Oh, let me go get it. 1 second. So my mom actually just gave me some of this. This is what my aunt brought my daughter from Guatemala. It is called Chloriplex or something. I think Chloriplex. I don't know if I'm saying it right. But it is a Guatemalan compound method of treating allergies and all that on the skin. So we use this once, okay? Once to test it out. And within 2 to 3 hours, we saw clearing of the skin. I mean, it's a magical thing, whatever's in this. But I do know that it's a compound method. It has an antibiotic, a steroid, and it has a sealer, a moisturizer. So it seals the skin. So after we wash, we spray, we apply this to the affected area. And then I will put Vaseline on top. Even though it doesn't need it, because it's like the sealer that it has, it's like Vaseline. So it does not necessarily need it, but I just want, I don't know why, I'm like, no, we need to seal it even more. So we will do that. What else? Okay, so that's what we use when it's like really, really bad, when she has a flare up. But if it's a cut, we will not use that. We will use the silver, what is it called? Silver, let me look it up, which is a first aid gel. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can see it. Okay. And we will get it from the organic store, but they also sell it at Target, I guess. That's what it shows here. We will use that. So we will spray this, we will use that, and then we'll do a moisturizer and a sealer. As a moisturizer, I just ran out. I have to make some right now. I use grass-fed tallow, 100% grass-fed tallow. I whip it up and I add castor oil. So castor oil is also used for many, many things. It's a skin barrier as well. So you can also do that if you want to give it a try. But this is what I use now as my day-to-day moisturizer for my baby. I have been using that for myself for over a year now, and I really enjoy it, just the pure tallow. But now I also add some castor oil to mine, because I just make a big batch and I just use it. And my toddler also uses it. My husband uses tallow as well sometimes, but he likes scented things, so we would do lavender for him, lavender essential oils. So that's what I use as a moisturizer now, every single day for her. And we also did use the Aveeno. We used the Honest brand. We used so many different things. I just have this because it's not bad. It just doesn't absorb, the skin doesn't absorb this as much as it absorbs tallow. So I'm not here promoting anything. I don't get paid to talk about any of these products. I don't. I just truly, this is what has worked. And things that have not worked, I have been so pissed at them that I just thrown them in the trash. So I don't have them here with me. So I kept this around. Whenever I run out of tallow, like today, I will apply this. But moisturize, 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 moisturize. I mean, I cannot stress this enough. Every single day, day and night, even do a middle, every single time that you change a diaper, moisturize if you can. Especially if your baby's still dealing with really dry skin. I feel like my daughter's skin is getting better. So we only moisturize twice, in the morning and at night. But if we do go out, I make sure that she is moisturized before we go out, because, and also that we apply a sealer. So we'll do either this one. We also use something called Waxaline. The doctor suggested that we use that instead of Vaseline, but it is extremely expensive. It's like $30 or something. But I did find another one. that I still have, and it's an unpetroleum jelly. So it's a cleaner version than Vaseline, and it is not as expensive as Waxaline, but I also find that Vaseline is just, it's perfect. It works. And this is not even the Vaseline brand. This is just the Walmart brand of petroleum jelly. Just, you know, it does the job. And we use this everywhere. Now, you probably know that something, maybe if your kid does not have rashes, but might be allergic to something, you will know because of the diarrhea. Okay, you will know because every single time I have to change my daughter's diaper, is not a regular poop, is a blowout. It gets everywhere. So we've also had to prepare for those scenarios, especially when we're out and about. And we've had plenty. We've been late to many places because of blowouts. We have a diary log of what she, you know, whenever she eats it, how many hours it takes for her to have a reaction, if any reaction or not. But right now she's basically just having beef liver puree with applesauce that I make, or with sweet potato, or we're doing the purees from those cold purees. What are they called? Give me 1 minute, I'm gonna go get it. Okay, so we get these, the Once Upon a Farm purees. So we gave our toddler this as well. And this is whenever I don't have time to make purees, we'll give her this one. Now I know that strawberries are high histamine foods, but she likes this flavor. So we're giving her that. Can you put this in the fridge, please? I have my toddler here with me. So yeah, that's what we're doing. She's having that. She's also having beef broth. So we're avoiding cooking meat in the crock pot because it, you know, it slowly cooks it. That can be high histamine as well, or old meat, overly processed meats. So we're doing grass-fed, grass-finished meat as well. For me, from a local farm. I think I have shared with you oh, here's another thing. So when we went to get the silver gel that we use whenever she has a cut or a wound that is open and we can't use the compound cream right away, I also got this one. I got the Indian Meadow Herbals, and this is supposed to be something that helps heal, but also helps with the itching. See if I can show you. There you go. This is what it looks like. That's the brand. I wouldn't say, hey, go buy this. Like, I wouldn't say that because I didn't see much of a difference. She was still itching, a lot of itchiness. I will say maybe an antihistamine will be better because that helps with itchiness, and that helped her be able to sleep. My baby now sleeps during the night. She will wake up maybe once. That's it. I just want to conclude by saying that be careful who you listen to, trust your gut, do your research, join groups online. There's this group called the Erin Method. So I know that not everybody's going to be able to get the compound little cream, right? So there is a doctor in South Africa called Dr. Erin, and he has treated tons of kids using the compound method. And he formulates for a specific child depending on what they need. So yeah, get in contact with the group and then you'll find more information about that. We were gonna go with him, but since my aunt brought me this and we tried it and it worked, you know, I knew that since it was a compound method that it probably would work. So I knew, you know, we don't use this every single day. We literally just use it on the affected areas. Whenever we see that she has a flare up, we'll use it when necessary, because again, you have to use it carefully. It's a steroid, but it is a compound method, so it's perfect. You know, kills the bacteria, it tackles it, and it moisturizes it, so you see improvement right away. So that, and also dietary stuff. You know, maybe try cutting stuff out. Maybe dairy, eggs, nuts, grains. Try doing that, see if it makes a difference. And I know that it can be hard. See if maybe you can supplement with formula if that's what you desire, other than, you know, breastfeeding. Yeah, so I think that is it. Yeah, and then also make sure that the doctor that you're seeing, that they align with things that you stand for, because a lot of the times if you have a doctor for this, for that, a lot of them could contradict. So make sure that you know what you want to do, that you have an idea, and that you also try being groups, like I said, because that you will get a lot of different input and it will be very helpful. So that is that, guys. I know that a lot of people will say that it's a leaky gut issue, and it could be, I mean, it could be so many things. I mean, I can go on a tangent about what we're surrounded by, what we consume, our day-to-day stuff. I mean, there's so many things. So we do cotton clothing, unscented stuff, no dyes, and we're careful about our diet. That's just what we're doing, and it's working for us, and we're so happy. Praise God, honestly, because I prayed so many nights desperately for healing, and we have arrived at the end of the tunnel, and we see light, and we're living it. We're really happy. Also, sunlight is very helpful if you're in a place where you can take your child out and be exposed to the sun. Not when they got the steroid, be careful with that, but whenever they're doing a little bit better, try to expose them to the sun as much as possible, because that helps as well as just being indoors. So yeah, again, I'm no doctor, I'm just a parent that has gone through it, and I'm really happy to share that my daughter is now doing better, and I really hope that your little one gets better soon. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. God bless, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. All right, bye.